Good evening and welcome to episode 3 of County Ladies, brought to you by the Scarf Bagara War. I'm joined by County Ladies skipper Kenedy Owen. How are you doing, Kenedy?
I'm good, Stu. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Cheers. Not too bad. Not too bad. You didn't get blown away on Sunday then in that weather?
Oh, very nearly. Very nearly. Yeah.
I bet that was a tough game, that wasn't it, on Sunday?
Yeah. Horrible. But for both teams, so we both struggled, I think.
Yeah. I didn't get to come down on Sunday, but it was throwing it down, wasn't it? And it was windy, and I was thinking, flipping heck, how are they getting on there?
I have never been that cold in all my life. I honestly, I got home and I was like, I honestly don't even think the shower was going to warm me up at this point. Like, it just chilled you to the bone. Like, it was so cold. It was raining. And I said to Levi, should they come in at half time to like listen to the talk and whatnot, get warm? And I said, no. I said, you're running round and like you no matter how much you run, you're still cold. Like, and it's horrible because the wind was like icy. It was raining, so that was making the rain colder. It was just horrible. You couldn't hear anything because the wind was just in your ears. It was coming from every direction. It was changing direction all the time, so it was so bad. And I said, "Did you don't get any warmer?" And we're all sat in the changing rooms like this at half time. Then you got to go and do it again.
Shivering.
Yeah, well, we had a little heater as well, and we thought, right, that'll do us at half time. It'll be dead warm when you go in, but it only made it worse because you had to go back out.
You're freezing even colder when you went back out.
Yeah, it weren't good.
I saw there was Andy Makin did a picture. He put one of his pictures up, and it was a picture of Maz. She was like middle of the game. She was like that, absolutely freezing.
I think that's used as like Cole Palmer does that.
Yeah, that's right.
On Twitter as if that was a celebration. It was. She was just cold. That might have to be her celebration every week now.
That's it. Yeah, Maz, if you're watching this, that needs to be your celebration next time you score.
I'll tell her. Has to be.
Brilliant. So only 2 games since Christmas. The first one was comprehensive 7-0 thumping of Tranmere.
Yeah.
I was there for that one. I wasn't part-time in it there. I was actually made it to that one. What a game that was. What was that like to play in?
It feels like ages away now, that.
Yeah.
It was good. I feel like but just before Christmas as well, we were getting sort of back to ourselves. Like, we hadn't had the best sort of run, and I think we were overthinking it a little bit. And then we played, I think, like Cheltenham and Huddersfield. Like, we played dead well, and like we were unlucky to not win either of them games. I think we'd lost and then we drew, but we looked a bit more like ourselves. And we thought, you know what, yeah. But then it just was a bit of a shame that it was Christmas and then game cancelled. So it was one of them. Tranmere, we're thinking, well, we either go into this and we're going to play at their level and it'll be a close game, or we come out straight out the blocks and we go and put a few past them straight away. And luckily it was that one. That was it. Nice to be involved, and 7-0 is always like, you were comfortable. Nice to have a comfortable game for once.
That's it. With all due respect to Tranmere, it was a comfortable game, really.
Yeah.
Watching it, there was a few of us were saying that this is going to be 4 or 5. This we never expected sort of 7.
I know.
But,
it probably could be well without sort of being disrespectful, but their keeper's made some saves that no other keeper in our league probably would have made.
Yeah, she did.
Jess Brady could have had 5. I think she was counting through the game. She was like, "That's 5." And the keepers had like a bit of a worldie on some of them, to be fair to her. So it could have been a lot more.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago now, did Em Bradshaw get a hat-trick? Did she? I can't remember now.
2.
She got 2.
I think so, yeah.
Right. See,
I feel like I remember she got a hat trick, but I don't really.
She wouldn't let you forget, would she?
No, probably not. No, I think it was
class. Yeah, that was that. Like you say, the 2 games before Christmas, Cheltenham and Huddersfield were both unlucky not to win both.
Yeah.
Particularly the Cheltenham game went to extra time.
Yeah.
Because we were watching it and we were all saying we're going to win this, we're going to nick this.
If I can remember, I feel like that one just felt like a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
Like their goal, I think, was just one of them that it was not. They're all preventable, aren't they? But like, it was gonna come eventually if we didn't sort of keep them away from the corners and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, they were massive. So we were trying to like not give them corners and stuff, but didn't really happen that. And it just we come off and we think we should have won. Like we had chances to win like that. So it was a bit of a kick. But
yeah, that was the quarter final of the plate, that wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 Was the game against Tranmere? Yeah, that was an FA County Cup game.
County Cup
against Tranmere, wasn't it? I think that was a quarter final as well.
It was. Yeah. So that's what the trophy we've got. So you know we're just trying to keep it, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you won at Chester, or is that the one that you won to get to Chester?
The one that we won to get to Chester.
Right.
That first one, and then
yeah.
whoever wins that, and then whoever wins what are we, Cheshire? Whoever wins the Manchester one, I think we then play each other.
That's right. Yeah, because it was FC, wasn't it, at Chester?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game as well. That must have been, for you as captain, getting to lift the trophy. But when the third and fourth goal went in, I bet you're thinking, brilliant, I'm going to get to lift this trophy now.
I think it's dead awkward lifting trophies. The first one I'd really lifted was the County Cup one, and I said to us, I don't really know what to do. Like, do this now. So we just had a bit of a laugh, to be honest with you. But that Super Cup, I come off at half time in that Super Cup game.
Concussion, wasn't it?
Yeah, I weren't too good, and I thought I was all right because I'd had like so many weeks to be better. Do you know what I mean? I missed the Charlie stuff like that. Oh no, was that after it? I can't remember which round it was, but I remember I thought it was fine, completely fine. Like, and then I started moving around, and I thought I feel sick here.
Yeah,
and I think Steve just said no, like you don't look right. So
yeah, it's cool.
Luckily, it's did me a favour, to be honest with you. Did me a favour. It was good to see like the girls go on. They smashed it. I think it was 1-0. I come off and they went on and like thumped them.
Whipped another. Did it finish 4-0?
4 maybe, yeah.
4-0. Yeah.
Liv and Gems come on and just absolutely scored screamers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, they were brilliant. That was a great night at Chester. That was so good. That was again.
Watch a bit of it though as well, because usually I don't get that chance to see how the girls are playing or like from the side. I don't get that. So then when I did, I was like seeing goals go in and like big rockets. I was like, oh, this is unreal.
This is great. Kind of sort of wish you were playing sort of back on there again.
Do you know what? I swear on my life that was probably like one of the times where I thought I'm happy to just watch me. Like, I'm happy here watching everyone just sail by, rocket goes in, happy days. Like, that was probably the only time I've been happy about it. Yeah,
it was again another, without being disrespectful to FC, it was another comfortable performance and a comfortable win that night, wasn't it? It was one-way traffic.
We always knew we were going to win. And I think, even though it was 1-0, it was like we were never really worried about it being 1-0. We knew we could have got more, so it was just about pushing on, I think, and then the girls come on, and I don't know even where them goals come from, to be honest with you. I've still not let Gem live hers down.
No, and rightly so. I keep trying to get the title for this podcast. I keep trying to get that goal sort of cut from YouTube.
Yeah.
And sort of into the titles, but I can't do it. I want it. If somebody out there knows how to do it, let me know, because we need to get some of them goals from that night. We need to get. In fact, you've scored a couple of screamers as well. Did you get one the other week? Who was that against? Was that in the Tranmere game?
No, I didn't score at Tranmere.
No, might have been the Cheltenham game.
One of them. No, it was Huddersfield. I think it was one.
But you whipped it from the edge of the box, didn't you?
Bit further from the edge of the box, Stu. No, 2 yards on always.
Bit further out. 30 yards.
25, 30 yards, I think.
Yeah, I remember it, 'cause it was on another absolute screamer.
Someone who told me now, my mum came to watch and my sister last week, and I think I was taking a free kick or something like that, and I weren't going to shoot from it because it was from the side crossing one. And
Yeah.
he said, you know, James, the announcer.
Yeah.
My mum was like, "Oh my god," he said, like, and she only scores screamers or something like that. I was laughing my head off because my mum don't really very often, so she doesn't she don't really know. And then she's seen it, and she must have thought I was some celebrity because I don't know. She was made up.
You are. You're all celebrities.
Yeah, local.
Especially in Woodley Primary.
God.
Let me tell you. Honestly, it's yeah. I mean, it's been a bit of a running theme that episodes, just the connection that you girls have, you ladies have with the girls from the primary school, from my daughter's school, and
yeah,
that's what makes it so special for people like, you know, like the mums and the dads to come down, because we just sort of sit there, watch the game, we enjoy it, we get to have a beer. But the kids are there, and when you're walking out, they're doing the high fives and all that, and then, you know, you and the girls come over and talk to them at full time, and it's brilliant.
it's important.
Brilliant.
It is important. I think it's important that happens, and like we're not out of reach, and like it's not. I always say this to someone. I always say it to my family. I'm like, you go and like they want your autograph and all this, and I'm just like I just play football. I'm not like, do you know what I mean? So it does feel a bit strange, but
A bit
at
strange.
the same time, it's like we're not out of reach, and like people are giving up Sunday to come and stand in the cold and watch you play for 90 minutes. It's like, it's a long time, and it's a lot of time to give up, especially when you work full time. And do you know what I mean? Like your mum and dads are coming down, and their only day off sometimes. So yeah, we try to make a bit of a fuss of the fans, like, to be fair.
Yeah, and you do. You absolutely do. Every single player does every week, and it's great. It really is. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's, again, you know, that's one of the things that we want to sort of promote through this podcast. We want people to come down, and we want people to feel that connection. You know, when the girls are warming up on the far side, just before they come on, they're always talking to any of the spectators and the fans and what have you walk past, and it's that connection. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is. Really is.
It's nice,
it's great.
as well. Yeah.
So you've been at County since the 22-23 season.
Are you telling me?
And you were made captain in your first season.
I was.
You was. So how did the move come about, coming to County?
Weren't really enjoying it at Burnley.
Right.
That last sort of end of the season there was a bit like, not really enjoying it. And then I think Levi was at Burnley as well, and she ended up saying, like, obviously, like, she weren't enjoying it. And she said, I'm gonna go to have a look at Stockport, like, they're a league below.
Yeah.
It might not be as much commitment, and like at Burnley, used to train on a Friday till like 6 till 9, 3 hours on Friday night. It was,
what the hell?
It weren't the best, you know what I mean? And that was one day that we did 3 days a week, so it was like, it was a bit much, you know what I mean? So I thought, oh yeah, go on. And I think we knew a coach who was coaching at County at the time, and he was like, yeah, come down, and like, you know, like, you'll love it here, and it's mint, the girls are all mint. So I was like, oh yeah. And we just went training with no thought really of being like, I'm going to sign here.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're enjoying it, had the off season and stuff, and then went training, and then enjoyed it. So
And there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So 3 days a week training at Burnley, was that like semi-pro level then, or is that National League, or were they National League?
But yeah, they were National League, but the league above, so tier 3. But I don't really know what the all class has. If it's semi-pro, is it pro? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit more difficult in women's football, because obviously in the men's, it's like, if you're getting paid whatever, or you're training so much, it's like they're semi-pro, and then when you go full time, you're pro. It's a bit of a sticky one.
Right. Right.
But yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, bet it is. Bet it was. You was at Burnley before County. How long was you there at Burnley?
2 years, maybe 2 or
3
3
years.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
2 or 3 seasons. They all blur into one. Been
Yeah, I
going
bet.
that long now. Getting old. I am.
No. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. But before Burnley, you was at United.
I was. Yeah.
So yeah, when I found that out last week, I was like, really? Need to ask her about that. So tell us about your time at United then.
I was at United from I was about 7, turning 8. So I was only young. And you know what? It's a bit of a funny story, this, actually. I can't remember if I told you this or not. But my year 5 teacher, I wasn't even in year 5 at the time, but the year 5 teacher in my school at the time, rang my mum one day, and I weren't well. I was off school. I had like a throat infection, and I'd been to the doctors and stuff, and I couldn't speak. And she rang my mum and said, like, I've got these trials for United for Kenedy, like, is she all right to go? And my mum was looking at me like, I was like in my auntie's living room, and she's like looking at me like that, and I was like, thought I was in trouble or something. I was like, what? And she said, yeah, but like, I'll go and tell her now, like, amazing, like, all this. My mum was just saying, yeah. And she said, oh no, like, she's here with me, like, she's off today, she's not well. And then I think it was that week I was still unwell, and then the teacher come and picked me up and everything, took me to the trials and stuff, because my dad was at work and stuff like that. So yeah, my teacher got me where I am, really, to be fair. And I am still in touch well now. So
so you must have played. Sure, you know, must have. I assume you played for the school team then.
I played for that's another funny story, actually. I wanted to play for the school team, but I was only in like year 3 or however old you are at that age.
Yeah.
And they didn't really like split by age. It was just like juniors. So you were year 3 to 6, anybody could play from, but you just knew that you weren't going to get a game because the year 5 6s were all bigger and better and all of that. And I remember the head teacher was doing the training and all that. He was like the manager of the school team. And then we went training on like Thursday night, come into the classroom, and it was like proper old school. He was pointing you out like that, picking the team for the week after, for the match after. And I was like I'm just sat here thinking, oh, well, it's not going to be me. Didn't think anything of it. And then he pointed at me and he said my name, and I was, honest to God, I went white. And there's all these lads sat next to me thinking, what? This like girl in year 3 is going to take my place in the team.
Oh, brilliant.
So I was like, yeah. And we went, do you know what? I think we came second in the league or something. Like, we did like league tables in school and that. We came second in the league. Yeah. And I remember, do you know when they do like the leavers assemblies and stuff at the church?
Yeah,
like the year sixes, they were doing that, and the head teacher was giving out medals at the church because we'd come set. I don't know why it was at the church. It was just a bit of a weird one. And I remember that obviously they were all year 6s, so they're all at the front in them chairs at the front. At the side of the altar and stuff, whatever it is. And I'm there in the crowd, miles away, in the normal bit of the church, just sat there watching them do their like production thing. And then he shouts my name, so I've got to walk right through the church, and
everybody's staring at you.
Standing ovation off like all the mums and stuff at the church.
I mean that's quite a thing, isn't it? You know, so year 3, what's that? That's going to be about 8 years old, 7, 8 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't work out these year 3s and what have you. I'm still sort of first.
It was around that time though, because she got me the trials from going into the school team, and then we had a couple of tournaments. Went to a tournament at Salford Sports Village, and that was a year 3-4 tournament in the morning, and then we went back to school. Then the year 5s and 6s shipped out to the same tournament, but for the afternoon. And I remember on the way back from that, that year 5 teacher, she then was saying to me, no, you need to come for the afternoon as well. I'm going to ring your mum. Do you want to come and play in the afternoon? So I was like, do I want to go to school, or do I want to come and play football all day? Like, no brainer.
No brainer.
So I was like, yeah, obviously. So, and this, I felt like a celebrity doing this as well. So the teacher's on the phone to my ma, and she's saying like, oh, well, is she all right to come? Like, she's not going to be, I don't want to push her too far or whatever. So my mum's like, if she wants to go, she can go. My mum's just not bothered. And then we got back to school, and it was like a 10-minute turnaround to get all the 5s and 6s on the bus, and that she marched me to the front of the dinner queue, get what you want. And I was just picking things off the like the little thing.
That's brilliant.
it were brilliant. And then I took it all on the bus with me. I had a little packed lunch, and it was the way I walked past everyone. I was like, oh my Lord. Honestly, I felt like a celebrity.
That's brilliant, that. So you must have been the youngest, or one of the youngest, if not the youngest, in that school team then, in year 3, and they're all year 5s and 6s.
Yeah. And I was the only girl at the time as well.
Right, yeah, and that's it, being the only girl, yeah. So, I mean, this can only be, I'm not asking you for your age, that's just rude, but this can't be any more than 20 years ago, this.
Well, I'm 26 now, so 18 years ago.
So, yeah, there you go then. So, yeah, so it's no more than 20 years ago. So,
yeah.
18 years ago, and there was still that sort of, not stigma, but that sort of, well, you know, football's, why is there a girl playing football? That's, you know, people are like, well, what's going on there? And you've obviously gone in and absolutely smashed it.
Yeah.
So, you know, fair play to you. So, you've had a bit of ability since you were a nipper. Did that come through? Yeah. Did that come naturally, or have you worked at it, or?
Oh, I would say I've definitely worked at it. Do you know what I mean? I've been playing football for 20 odd years. Like, it don't come overnight, really, to anybody. But I used to. What made it for me, and if you speak to more like female footballers who've sort of done the same thing I've done as a kid, you'll find that they're the ones that are they're a bit tougher, or they're not really, but they'll get flattened and get straight back up. But I used to go and play football with my brother, and my brother's, how old's my brother now? 32, something like that. So he's quite a bit older than me. He's about 5-6 years older than me.
Yeah.
So obviously when I was that age, he was like 13, 14. Do you know what I mean? So I'd go out with him and his mates, and they'd take no prisoners. They'd 2-foot me and everything. Like, they just wouldn't care. But neither would I. So, do you know what I mean? It does toughen you up. And I think playing with lads and, you know, growing up playing with lads and playing on the streets, like concrete football, you know what I mean? That you learn so much more through that than going straight into like certain things. Like, I think they've just got to have a love for it to start with, and then.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, and it all comes down to you then, but. Yeah.
Oh, fair play to you, Ken. Fair play to you. So have you sort of felt and seen a difference in the perception of women's football since probably since the Lionesses won the Euros in 2022?
I think there's been a big shift, and I think a lot more people are open to, like, if it's on the telly, they'll watch it.
Yeah.
Because you'll get them people that will sit at home, and if there's any football on, they'll just put it on. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's more people willing to do that now than there was before that.
Yeah.
But then it's like anything, you're always going to get them few idiots that like sit on Twitter and just be like saying a load of stuff that no one's actually interested in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think that's always going to be there, to be honest with you. I don't think that's fully going to go away, but I think there's still been a massive improvement in that way.
Absolutely.
But only going up, so.
Yeah, and that's it. Women's football as a whole, you know, from the youth groups right through to the open age first team football. Like you said, you nailed it there when you said there's been a massive shift in it, and there absolutely has. So, you know, my daughter Isla, she just seemed to get into football it was almost overnight. You know, at first she was doing what girls do. She wasn't interested in football, and the boys were dead aggressive. And then all of a sudden, she just started talking to me about the Lionesses. And now she watches all the Lionesses games. We went to a Lioness game in December. Went to Sheffield United to watch them against Switzerland, and she just knows literally all the players. So it was practically the sort of the reserve team for England that played that game, because they'd played a game a few days before. So Serena Wiegman had switched, had sort of rotated the squad. And Isla was telling me, oh, that's Hannah Hampton in goal, and Millie Bright's playing at centre half because Leah Williamson's on the bench and all this, and I'm just like, going, it's, but that's how it's grown,
Yeah.
So I mean, does that sort of, do you guys feel that? Because what county they are? National League Division 1 North, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys feel that, the sort of the swelling interest in the women's game?
I think a little bit, like when obviously we're getting more fans week in, week out now, and I think I said this to you last week, you put like a stat out and said like, was it 33% higher than what it used to be? So, you can feel it like when we play, say, like a Cheadle on the Wednesday night when it's packed. And that's not just our fans, that's their fans because it's local and stuff like that. And it's just a good game to go and watch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then like when we went to Edgeley Park and there's 800 and whatever there.
Yeah.
They're not there every week at SSV.
No.
So there's an interest there to be like, oh, they're playing at Edgeley Park, like, go on, we'll go down. Or do you know what I mean? You'll see a load of faces you've never seen before at the games like that, the big games at the stadiums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in that respect, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah. I mean, you mentioned the Cheadle game there. Then it was before Christmas, Wednesday night, absolutely tipping down.
Yeah.
200 and odd people there watching an absolute ding dong of a game.
Yeah.
That County won. I think M. License scored, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think she whipped one in from
the ground either.
But 200 odd people there at that night on a Wednesday night. Like you say, they've only come from the other side of Stockport, but it's still 200 people watching a women's game of football on a Wednesday night when it's absolutely hammering it down.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's like I think that the fact that it's sort of seeing this local derby and it's one side of Stockport versus the other side of Stockport, really, innit? Like, so I think everyone's like, go on a night game, it's derby. Like, people love it, to be honest with you. And you speak to people after the game and they're like, like they look around and they think, well, yeah, like what? Look at everyone, look at the crowd. Yeah. And you come out of the little, it's not a tunnel, but like the little where the changing rooms are, where they brick the wall, and you can't really see us so far because the wall comes down, so you have to go out so far before you can see. And I remember coming out and I'm stood at the front there, and I've gone like that, and I've seen, and I was like, sidelines all the way down. So I thought it's got to be a good game. This.
It was absolutely rammed. It was, I mean, it was a great atmosphere in the stands. It was a hell of a game on the pitch. One of the most competitive games of football I've ever seen, without anybody getting injured, anybody getting sent off. I don't think there was even a booking in that game.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't, to be fair.
I'm not. Well, yeah. That's it.
Really, though, I don't think it was that type of.
No, that's it. I don't think it was aggressive. I think it was competitive, and you could tell it was a derby.
Yeah. But everyone just got up and carried on.
Just got on with it. Yeah, that's it. And that is, without a doubt, from my point of view, from a personal point of view, that's one of the things why I would sooner watch a woman's game of football than a bloke's now. Because you don't get that. I haven't seen it. Not once have I seen it. Somebody gets tackled and they're rolling around and they're screaming. And then, 5 seconds later, they stood up and running around. Well, hang on, you're either hurt or you're not.
Yeah. It's
and you don't. I don't know. I mean, you obviously you play every game. I don't know if you've seen that in the women's game. I certainly haven't.
I just think for me, I know, like, if I've caught someone, or I know if I've got the ball fully, and if it's a good tackle or if you've clipped them, or you know what I mean, you can feel it as you're going through. So if you get the ball and go through and they're still on the floor, I think get up, like, stop it now, because like that's not. I'm straight through the ball. Like, there's no way. Obviously, they can hurt themselves still, but you end up just in the moment going, "Oh, just get up!" Like, what do you mean? I've got the ball. I didn't even touch you. And then when you do clip them, you think, fair enough, I might have hurt you there, but there's not I don't think there's a rolling round. It's either you're genuinely hurt or you've just took a bit of a knock and you get back up and then you just have a bit of a limp and then they're all right.
Yeah.
But I think that in men's football, it's more of a cry for the free kick or cry for the penalty. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, trying to con the ref.
Yeah, but the refs just don't want none of it. Like, they don't want to know.
Yeah.
Most of them in our league, you know what I mean? They're not bothered. So just
get
on crack on.
Yeah, it's more entertaining. I think, trying to think the game where you banged heads with the opposition player. Was that Charlie? Wasn't Charlie, that was it? Durham.
The cup.
Right, I remember because that was where the concussion from the cup final came from, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was ill, honestly.
Yeah. Did you have a big bruise on your head, or was it the girl you banged heads with?
No, that was her. I had like all there. It did come out quite a bit, but it went down quite fast as well.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not too bad with bruising me up here. Like, I'm like my head's made of metal. It doesn't tend to bruise. Like, I could have a wall and it just doesn't do anything to unless it's my eye. So because I caught up here, it killed. Honestly, it rocked me. I just sit down. I was like, proper rocked me. And then I looked up as I sat down, and I think it was Jem and Fran have come over to me. I was like, just sit down, like, have a minute. Then they seen her head.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God. So I've then gone, like, looked up, like, my eyes were all funny, and I looked up and then I seen her head and I was like, I just said, you need to go home. Like, you can't play football. You can't carry on like that. And her head was honestly like out here. It was like a golf
ball. Come up straight away.
Not exaggerating. It was like that, like a golf ball. It was. I've got I'll send you a picture of it. I've got a picture of it. But yeah, it looked awful. But she said it was all right. I seen her after the game and I said, like, how you feeling and stuff, and she was like, I'm actually not. I feel all right, but obviously look at the state of it.
Yeah.
So their physio was obviously like that. She's not carrying on. And then I seen her this Sunday just gone. Because I've been dying to know what happened to her head, you know, like to see
see how she was afterwards, yeah.
Like, because I know how I felt, so she must have felt 10 times as bad as me for looking at her head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did you get to catch up with her then on Sunday and ask her how she was?
Yeah, I seen her and I just said, I'm just going to go and ask her what happened. And she said she was all right. She said it went down quite quick, but she said I think she missed a couple of games. But that's like the rule now, innit? You have to miss so many until you're right. So, but yeah, she said it were all right after that it went down. So
good.
It looked terrible though, Stu. Honestly, it looked. I thought I'd done serious damage to this girl's head. I was like, oh no.
But did you win the header? Did you win the ball? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, there you go then.
I think I headed the ball and she headed me trying to head the ball.
Right.
But because it was in our box, so I've got to put the ball as far away as I can. It's not just like I think I've gone into it like that, and as she's tried to head me, I've probably gone like that, but the ball's in my head. Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Win the header, crack on. Did you came off as well, didn't you? Did you come off?
No, I stayed on.
You stayed on?
No, I stayed on, yeah. I don't know how long was left, to be honest, like 15 minutes, but I think Jem was stood behind me and she kept going, are you all right? Like, you don't look well. And I was like, it's banging, to be fair. Like, I was like, I asked the ref how long's left. And they weren't that long left, to be honest with you. And I think I scored a penalty actually after that. I think we got a penalty.
Yeah, good, well done. Good.
Yeah.
Because you are the penalty taker, aren't you?
Yeah, so scored with this big coggy on my head.
Coggy.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And taking photos and all that.
Proper captain, that, isn't it, eh? Never mind, get on with it.
Yeah. Don't bother me till I get home, and then once I'm relaxed and I'm at home, I'm like, oh, I'm in agony now.
Yeah, that's it. The adrenaline of the game takes you through it a bit, doesn't it? I would think.
There's so many things that I must have like this proper adrenaline pump, because like I've got like a bit of a funny bone in my knee, like in my leg, that will dislocate at will, and like it comes out. I don't know if you've seen it before. Like, it has done it in a few games. Did it in the County Cup final when we won 9-0.
Oh yeah, against was that Runcorn?
Yeah, so I did it in that one. But it like I don't know how to get medical and technical with it, but basically it goes out and in most of the time, but sometimes it won't go in by itself.
Right.
So put it back in.
Bloody
and
hell.
there's been so many games where I have to do it, and it's like it's 0-0 or we're winning 1-0, and I'm like, I'm not coming off. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I am seeing it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'm fine, and Steve's always like asking me, he's like, "Are you all right?" Just because he knows it's a thing that happens. Like, anyone else is probably horrified by it, but it is what it is. And then give me 10 minutes, and I'm like, "No, I'm all right now." And then I get home, and I'm like, "I need some ice and ibuprofen and the rest of it."
For a dislocated knee, I'm all right. Just ibuprofen, be all right.
No, what? It's not even that bad. It's just the feeling of it is like makes you want to be sick. Like, obviously it's movement, and when it shouldn't be, and it's just horrible.
But you still carry on playing, and you just wow. I tell you what, I take me out off to you. I've never dislocated a bone, but obviously I've seen a couple done on a Sunday morning, and I've heard people talking about it, but I've never ever known somebody carry on. Oh yeah, I'll just pop it back in and carry on. What?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, because obviously some of them dislocations you see on like videos on like Sunday League Twitter or whatever, and the kneecaps are like round the back. You obviously couldn't carry on with that, but mine's a bone at the side of my leg. My fibula pops out at the top in my knee.
Blimey.
Like out of the, I don't know. I think it's like it's called sublux or sublocate. I don't even know what my own problems are. But I feel like I'm proper digging a hole here. Like, they're not looking after me at county, but it's not like that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. That's it. I mean, no, they definitely do look after.
Yeah.
Well, they do look after you at county. You know, I mean,
Mm.
one of the first episode might have even been the first episode I spoke to Steve about, and he told me about the setup. You know, Steve describes it as grassroots football. I think it's probably a couple of levels above grassroots myself.
Yeah.
But you know, the setup that you've got, the youth setup, the youth development, the under-23s, then you get to the first team and you've got your physios, you've got a couple of coaches, and it's just, I don't want to say surprising, but it's quite intriguing to get to that level, and where you can understand that, wow, you know, this is quite a good setup. This,
I think as well, you have to sort of look at who else is in your league, like who you're playing against and what have they got. Not that it's a competition about who's got what facilities or who's got what access to whatever else, but you have to sort of keep in line with what everyone else is doing. Like we can't turn up without a physio, do you know what I mean? And we do sometimes, because if we know they've got a physio and they'll do both teams, but like we've got Lindsay who does, you know, she gives everyone like massages before the games and things like that, and just loosens everyone off. Or after a game Wednesday, like people be tight, so she'll have a look at any knocks and niggles. But yeah, I think if you've got teams that are like pushing for promotion and they've got physios, and you just have to have, you know, it's a level where everyone has to have sort of similar access to things.
Well, that's it again, and you know, that's probably, I would say probably a reflection of how far the women's game's come, because I would bet that, I don't know, probably 5-6 years ago, maybe a bit longer, they probably maybe didn't have that kind of setup, kind of backroom staff. I mean, I don't know, what was it like at Burnley or at United? We were going to talk a bit about United. We've not had a chance to talk about that yet.
Oh yeah, United's a bit of a different one, because they're like, that was youth level as well, so you have to have so many things in place, you know what I mean, like physios or things like that. And I think that's just part of like health and safety, to be honest. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. Like, you have to have this.
Yeah, there's like rules and safeguard and what have you.
Yeah. But you know, you'd be surprised how many clubs struggle for physios.
Yeah, so can imagine.
Yeah, because a lot of clubs are like struggling on a budget when physios aren't cheap. So 9 times out of 10, you'll get like a student physio who'll come for experience, or you know, they'll just get like a little bit of, they get paid a little bit, but because they're not fully qualified. But then you get the clubs that have 2 physios and like a club doctor or whatever else.
Yeah. Have you noticed any kind of change since the takeover of Stockport County as a whole? Have you noticed any kind of change? Well, I don't know, I suppose, because you came to 2022, didn't you? So that was 2 years into the takeover.
Yeah, I weren't really there to see it all, so I don't really know what it was like before.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's a question for somebody else.
I think so.
Maybe Fran or someone like that might know.
Yeah, Fran's been there since 2019, hasn't she? I was reading that about when I was doing some research. Fran's been there.
That's, you know what? That's a funny story actually, because I knew you wanted to talk about this. The captaincy. Fran was the before me.
Before you arrived.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was that season. I didn't really meet Fran. Fran was never there, so I didn't even know she existed. So.
Right.
It weren't clear when you come to training who the captain was and whatever. So I was just like, didn't think about it, to be honest with you. It weren't really on my mind.
Yeah.
And then that was the season Fran was pregnant. So Fran was on maternity from football.
Right.
Obviously, she couldn't train, she couldn't play because she found out she was having a baby. And then she came to a few away games. I was like, all right, now like it's all coming together now. Like,
right.
So the first game of the season, obviously Fran weren't there and Fran weren't playing. So I've come in the changing room, obviously warmed up, come in the changing rooms, still didn't think anything of like being a captain or like weren't even on my mind. You're brand new to the club, it's not what you think about, do you know what I mean? And then Ronnie just come over to me and give me the armband and I was like, oh, no conversation, no, didn't even say anything. He was just like, there you go.
Right.
I was like, all right.
All right, cheers for that. So do you reckon that was one of those where he probably made his mind up a bit sooner, but you not told you, so you didn't have time to get worked up about it or think about it?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if I don't know whether he's fought from training. He's like, yeah, she'll be the captain, or
yeah,
I don't know what it was, because still to this day I never got like a conversation, to be honest. It was just one of them. Was the captain, and then we were straight into the season, so it weren't even a thing of like asking why. I weren't bothered, to be honest.
That's it. You had it and
got given a job to do, and they did it. So
yeah,
that was it really. And then Fran came back, and I don't actually know what happened with that, to be honest. I just kept it.
Right.
I don't even know if I should have gave it back, to be honest. I don't know. But she's not.
You'll have to have that conversation with her.
She's not, but you know what? Even to this day, like she hates playing with the armband on. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's it. It does suit some players, and some players can't.
Yeah,
I think they don't want it.
I think she had a bad game in it once, and then now she wears it when I'm not there, or if I've come off or whatever, and because she's vice captain, so she'll wear it then, and she'll throw it at me, she'll have it back. Like I don't know if it's like a bit of a
superstition
thing. Yeah, a bit of a superstition thing for her. I don't know, but it's funny. It's funny every time.
We'll have to ask her.
Yeah,
cool.
But forgot about that.
So tell us a bit about your time at United then. So what did we say earlier on? You went there when you was about 7 or 8?
Yeah, so I went there from being 7, 8-year-old, so it was under 10s at the time, and then went till under 17s. So yeah, it was about 10 years, I think, back to back.
Right.
10 years. It was a good time, to be honest. I had a good time.
And this was before they joined the WSL, isn't it? This.
Yeah, so but at that time they had no women's team, so you didn't have a choice. You had to leave because you were too old. You know what I mean? Once you got to 16, you were like, oh, well, I'm gonna have to go now. So then what happened was like clubs would then just be poaching from United to be like, oh, go on, come training with us, and it'll be like your likes of like Liverpool, Man City. They all had women's teams. So it'd be all the likes of them that would come, and you'd go training with them and see what it was about and things like that.
Right.
And then I forgot to tell you this as well. So then went to Burnley, and I had a season back at United. in between.
Right.
Where was I? In between, just before I went to Burnley, I had a year there when Casey Stoney was the manager.
All right, yeah.
But I was in the 21s, and then played a year at the 21s, and just went to Burnley after that.
Went to Burnley. So when they had the 21s, is that what, one of the first seasons in the WSL when they'd formed?
That was the first season, I think.
Right.
The very first season. So they had the first team and then they had the 21s. So a couple of us went training with the first team a few times. They were like, some of them were on international, so the numbers were low, or, you know, they needed numbers in training and things like that. So it was good experience, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
yeah, with that.
Was there any big names there when you were there?
Well, Stu.
Don't want to name drop.
I know. Yeah.
But I'm gonna.
There was a few. They're all still there now. But like, so you've got like Millie Turner I was like in the under 15s and she'd be in the under 17s because she's a few years older than me.
Right.
So you've got the likes of her and she's still there now. Gabby George was there when I was younger. Ella Toon. Anyone that's sort of come through, you know what I mean? Like they're all there and thereabouts in the Super League and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a few of us from County actually. So there was Maz. Maz played for United, and Bradshaw, Levi, me. I'm trying to think about the team now off the top of my head. That might be it.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple more.
Was Nat Watson at Burnley with you?
No.
Was she not? We sort of saw a picture. Must have been when I was sort of researching sort of where you'd been and what have you. And I saw a picture of you. I think it was Levi and two other girls, and I could have swore that one of the others was Nat Watson. But Isla was going, no, that's not Nat Watson. I'm sure that's Nat Watson. I need to ask.
You want to listen to Isla?
I honestly, I say she talks sense, that girl.
No, it might have been Lizzie. Lizzie was with us a bit earlier in the season.
Lizzie Hay?
Yeah, and then she was at Burnley before that.
Right.
So I played with Lizzie at Burnley before. She's blonde hair. She's nowhere near as tall as Nat though. So
yeah. Right. Well, if Isla sees this, which she won't, because she was right and I was wrong, so Isla won't see this. Then. That's just the way it's going to be.
Can't show her.
You just tell her, won't you? You'll tell her on Sunday next time.
Yeah.
You're home again on Sunday, aren't you?
Yes, Barnsley.
That's right. Yeah. So I heard Steve mention it in his interview on Sunday just gone.
Yeah.
So is that's the second time we've played Barnsley this year, then that, isn't it?
Well, don't remind me about the first, but yeah.
Oh, was it
3-0? 3-0
That's
away.
right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember now. Because you actually played it at it's not it's called Oakwell anymore, but you actually played it at their ground, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice ground as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Nice big pitch. Yeah, bad day for us that.
Well, you can't win them all, can you? You can't win them all.
No, we were in a bit of a phase of just getting beat 3-0. You know, it was baffling. Like I think it was that was before or after File had beat us 3-0 as well. So it was a bit 3 goals. And like last year, we kept saying like I've had so many conversations with the back four and being like we had one of the best defensive records in the year. Like, do you know what I mean? It was we barely conceded last year, and now we were leaking goals. You know, no fault of the back four really. Like it weren't like they were just not defending. There was a lot to it, but
that's it. It happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah, it does. We weren't on the best run.
Onwards
and upwards.
Well, yeah. Looking at the league table today, played 11 games, and I think you are, from memory, about 7 or 8 points off 4th, but with 2, possibly 3 games in hand on them.
I don't look at
So
them.
you don't look at it?
I don't look at it. Not
No.
very often.
That's-
Someone
that's-
might show it me on the coach or like at training, but I don't tend to look at it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
Some players like that, aren't they? You know, it's just win the games and the league will take care of itself, kind of thing.
That's it. It's just week in, week out, every Sunday. You know, you've got a job to do. You win, you get 3 points. You don't need to know how many points you've got, really. Not at this stage, anyway. Probably just coming up to it now, like February, March. It's like, right, let's see where we are and what needs to happen. Do you know what I mean? But like in like what November, what good's that? Like,
yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So then I think it just causes panic sometimes. I think if you're up there second or third, you think, oh, like we're near the top of the league, but it's November. So you've got to allow for that drop off after Christmas and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it can catch a few people up that. So I just personally, I know a few of the girls do, but
it's where you are in sort of April, May time, isn't it? That's what matters.
Yeah. So you can look at it after Christmas and be like, right, whereabouts are we and what needs to happen? Unless you are like about to be relegated, then fair enough. You need to see what's going on. But when you're mid-table or, you know, you can climb. Not really too fussed. Yeah. Don't know if that's controversial or not, but works for me anyway.
Oh, that's it. It's whatever works for you, isn't it? You know, and I'm sure Steve and his backroom staff are the same. You know, just want to win the next game, win the next game, win the next, win the next, win the next, and the league table will take care of itself.
Yeah, I think that's how it has to be. I think if you look too far ahead, I think you can get caught up. Do you know what I mean? It's like we've got them, then them, and we have to win. We'll have to get 3 points against them in 3 weeks. Like, well, you got to get 3 points this week first. Like, there's no point talking about that game because this game's first. Do you know what I mean? So I quite like doing it that way. That suits me down to the ground. The only time it gets a bit complicated then is it's like, right, we've got one midweek. So we're like, some weeks we'll have 7 days where it's 3 games in 7 days.
Yeah.
Which is intense. Yeah. So it's then you're like, right, well, you got to think about the games, and Steve obviously then has to rotate the squad, or so you're obviously thinking in advance then, but nothing to do with me. That's his job. So I just leave him alone.
Yeah, that's it. You just go and run it on the pitch, don't you?
Yeah.
You go and boss him on the pitch.
That's what I'm there for.
That's it. That's what the skipper's there for.
Yeah.
Skipper who runs around with a dislocated knee.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Brilliant. Well, Kenedy, that's nearly an hour. Been chatting away for nearly an hour there.
Time flies when you're
having fun. Well, I have had fun. Honestly, it's been absolutely brilliant to talk to you. Absolutely brilliant having you on. Love to get you on again if you fancy it at some point. Yeah,
go for it.
Yeah, go there.
If anyone else fancies it, get a few of their opinions on.
Yeah, we'll get them on.
Whatever.
That's it. Well, we're gonna start getting some of the fans on as well.
Oh yeah.
Got a few people asking about fans coming on, and there's a bit of interest there. So, while there's a bit of interest, we'll get the fans on and get some good conversations going. Yeah. But for now, Kenedy, that's been absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for giving up your time again on a Tuesday night.
Don't worry.
No problems with sound or anything this time.
Oh, no. Technical difficulties.
Oh, anyway, right. That's it. As I say, Kenedy, thanks for your time. We'll definitely get you on again. And all the best for Sunday and the rest of the season. And I'll see you down at SSV on Sunday afternoon. Thank you very much. I'll see you there. Cheers, Ken. Thanks, mate. Bye.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind the scenes content and more. You can find us on X, Facebook and Instagram Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow County fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County!